old this is. Let's find out. Hey guys, Lucas here in Vintage Surplus, and today we're going to take a look at how to date an MRE. Now that sounds kind of simple because there is a really simple way to do it. We're going to take a look at how to, if you have an MRE just laying around, grab it at the store, you're not sure how old it is, how to date it, tell how old it is, and see if it's still good to eat or not. So let's take a look at how to date an MRE. So the first way to do this is if you just have the whole case. That's the easiest way, and that's probably the best way to do it. Now, you have a whole case of MREs. On the front here, or on the top I should say, is going to be a package date and an inspection date. Now that package date is going to say one date, and the inspection date is going to be 3 years after that date. So that's your, per DLA, Defense Logistics Agency, MREs are good for 3 years, stored at 80 degrees, or above freezing, 80 degrees, cool, dark environment kind of thing. So your normal like shelf stable food, you kind of put it away in the pantry, you don't touch it, it's going to be good for a good while. MREs are the same way. Now, your standard MREs still, if it's in a good packaging within date, it's going to be good for 3 to 5 years from that package date. You'll start seeing things such as the candy, if there's like M&Ms or something like that in there, those are definitely going to be expiring by that 5-year time point. But at that 3-year time point, everything's still good to go. So if you don't have your case, there are other ways to do it. Now, some things we need to pay attention to when we have our case MREs. Like this is within date range, it's good to go. Just take a good look at the case. Is that case water damaged? Is it beat all heck up? Does it look like it's been opened and closed and resealed or rebanded? Or the band's missing? Just an overall inspection of the case. If you're picking up a whole case from a store, flea market, whatever it may be, how does that thing look? Because just like anything else, especially when it comes to food, if it looks beat up, the stuff in there may not still be good, and it may have been stored improperly, especially outside, because the Army loves to throw MREs behind the company, and then they sit out there until the next training event. So yeah, just make sure you take a good look at case MREs. Now there's one more way, actually flip this back over, to make sure and tell if your MREs are good. This red dot right here. That red dot is a heat indicator. Now, like I said, MREs are good for when they're stored at 80 degrees and below, not too far below 80 degrees, for up to 3 years. That little stamp heat indicator thing though, if it is stored for an extended amount of time, above 80 degrees and above, I'm not quite sure what degree, that thing will fill in black. Now, if you have a whole case, the guy's like, hey, this is good to go, you can eat this thing. The guy got it right off the line, or he's saying whatever it is to you at the gun show, the flea market, the surplus store. If you see that dot and it's filled in, this thing's not good to go. There's a very good chance this was stored out in the heat outside for a long amount of time, or in a warehouse that was not air conditioned or at least climate controlled to an extent. So that's how, if you have the case, in order to tell. Look at that packaging date, look at that inspection date. Are you good to go within those dates? And then how's that heat indicator look? And how's the condition of the box look? But, as you may well know, you don't always get MREs by the case. Either they're in a bin, they're just available online individually, like with us. You go to our stores, they're just in a bin. How do you know they're good to go? Well, ask the shop owner, whoever's running it, whoever's behind the counter, what are these dates? They should hopefully be able to give you a good date, or at least a date range, tell you they're still good to go. But a lot of times they do just come like this. And let's take a look at how to take this bag and still figure out when it was packaged, so you can kind of figure out when the inspection date is. All right, so you just have an individual MRE, not in a case, in a random bin of stuff. How do you kind of date this thing? There's a few different ways. We'll go from kind of the altist way to literally the way to date it. And the easiest way to date them, so we'll start with, kind of like you really kind of know what you're looking at, is what menu item is this and what menu number is this? Now, MREs change menus every few years, so menu item numbers change. Sometimes they stay consistent for a couple years in a row, even during changes. But if you know your MRE menus and the menu number, you can really tell what kind of date range this is from. So if you have hot dogs, or whatever they were, the little Smokies, it's an old MRE. It's going to be brown packaging, not this coyote brownish, but like straight brown. But it's a very old MRE, and things like that. There are websites out there that can really break this down really well. They show off every time the menu's changed, what number they were, That's a good resource to have if you're looking at older MREs, especially. Is this still within the date range I'd be comfortable eating? Is this only 5 years old? Something like that. And just be able to date your MRE really pretty well. So let's say you've taken this, you're like, all right, this label is current, this menu item is fairly current, or it changed within the last 5 years, but it may be in the 5 years I'm comfortable eating still, and the menu item itself is current menu. And the packaging looks good, everything like that. So, but you really want to date this thing. Let's go over how to date it, because it's pretty simple once you know what you're looking at. So right here on almost every MRE, now sometimes it'll be missing, and we'll go over ways to kind of figure out if it's missing, but on everywhere on the top or the bottom where they've sealed it kind of shut, when they've cut the packaging, there is a stamped date code, and that will get you down to the exact year and the exact day it was packaged. Now this code has a few things about it that you got to know, but it's a 4-digit code, and then this one right now is 8005, so a pretty easy to read one, and that's going to tell you the date, the exact date. Now that first digit, that 8, is the last number of the year it was packaged. So this is packaged in 2018. So I know that now this is older than I'd like to eat, probably. Now I look at those other 3 numbers, that's the Julian day of the year it was packaged. So 005 just means January 5th. This was packaged January 5th till 2018. So the Julian date, that's really one that's going to get you down the exact day. What you're really worried about is that first number, 2018 in this case. Now that, if you are thinking about this, every 10 years, those numbers kind of repeat. So 2018 is going to have an 8, 2008 is going to have an 8, and then, not that this package was from 1998, but it could reflect 1998 as well. So those are some things that you want to watch out for. Is, do I know this menu number? Do I know the menu item itself? Is this a current menu? Because you can't just necessarily go off, especially if you're in like a dusty garage, something like that. These could have been around since 2008. So you're going to kind of have a good idea of when this was from in the first place, but that's really going to get you nailed down to the exact date. So let's say you go to the surplus store, and you're rummaging through the MREs, like this is a current menu item, everything like that. I know generally when it's from, last 5 years or so. Now I can kind of figure out that exact date. And I can go in there, read 2018, okay, it's maybe 2023 right now. That's still within 5 years. Packaging looks good, looks like it was stored properly. I can probably still eat this thing and just be fine. Now if this is a 4, that's going to mean 2024, 2014, 2004, things like that. Zeros, 2020, 2010, you're getting the idea, hopefully. So pay attention to that, but then use that clue on that date right there, combined with, is this a current or old menu number, everything like that. Kind of do the math, add it all up. Is this good to go? Now, if there is no date code on here, which sometimes there is not, it's just the way the packaging got cut and printed, they just missed putting a stamp on there. You can open it up and find similar dates. So let's open it up and see what it kind of looks like, dates on the inside. All right, so like I said, there's no date on MRE. We can find dates on the inside though. So it's easiest on snacks. Now our main meals and everything like that, they can have quite a few bits of mumbo jumbo on there. Like this one, the date code's not really evident or very clear which one is the date code because there's all sorts of things on there, but snacks is usually pretty dang clear, so you can pull one out. Now this one, date code right here, 7345. Now if you picked up what I was talking about before, that 7 is going to indicate a 2017 date for packaging. But that 345 brings it into December. So this was packaged in December 2017, and then the whole thing itself was packaged in January 5th, 2018. So pretty close together. So that gives you a really easy way to go, okay, this is from 2017, 2018. Right now it's 2023. Probably still good to eat, or it's 2022, definitely still good to eat, things like that. So when you're going through, this is a really easy way to say, is this MRE still good to go? So hope you got that down. Let's close this video out because there's not much more to say. All right, so that's how to date your MRE if you don't have a case, or if you have a case, how to date it and everything like that. I will say, if you get an MRE that's really current, you store it, it's good for 3 years from that packaging date. And if you store it really well, you can get 5 years out of it. Some of those more like commercially packaged items may just be the ones that really go bad. If it's not stored properly, you don't know where it came from, everything like that, I wouldn't trust it. You can extend a lot of these things out to 10 years if stored properly for all 10 years. But that's the the end kind of shelf life, and you're really only going to be able to eat the really meal pack stuff, like the main meal, the main sides. Those are the items that are going to still be good at 10 years if stored properly the entire time. And then the meal pack kind of snacks should still be good to go, but you'll definitely probably be seeing some things going stale and starting to go bad at that point. So 3 to 5 years is that good money spot for MREs if you're storing them right. But yeah, hope you enjoy this one. It's a pretty cool trick. You can pull it on your friends, be like, I know what day you're eating and stuff like that. When you're camping, if you buy a bunch of MREs, or if you go to the store and the owner isn't really being that open with information, you can go over there and be like, I know when this is from, why are you selling this to people, kind of thing. So hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, everything down below, to let us know you enjoy this kind of video and want to see more content like this. Otherwise, head on over and pick us up MREs.